So I had a lengthy call earlier today, probably in the last hour, with one of the members of our team. And like our talk revolved almost exclusively around culture. We discussed organizations like Apple that talk about their culture in a certain way. We talked about institutions like the university that I currently work at or the institutions that I have worked at previously. And I challenged him to think about, where does culture come from? Who drives culture? What is the function of culture within a group? And we had some really good discussions. I think number one of the things that we definitely agreed upon is that culture communicates a lot of things in a non-verbal way that allow people to understand what it is that they're becoming a part of. We also talked about the function of initiation and the difference between initiation and hazing, and how important initiating someone into your culture can be. It's super important to be able to communicate shared values and being able to establish commonalities and common grounds and expectations with people in a way that can bear fruit as an organization in the future. I mean, that's one of the primary purposes of having culture is, if we think about one example, is Catholics, okay, that exist in the world. They may not know each other, but because they both know that they are Catholics, or for example, Serbians, if there's two Serbians that meet each other, they may know that they're both from Serbia, and that's enough information that the cultural values that they both share as Serbians or as Catholics are enough for them to get behind the other person and take risks. Whether it's some type of physical conflict or it is the concept of shared culture when the United States soccer team goes to the World Cup, or in this last situation doesn't go to the World Cup, we all share some very similar things. We all become American on that day, and differences disappear. In the same way, you may work for McDonald's. I worked for McDonald's for 5.5 years when I was in high school and my first year of college, and there was a lot of culture that they shared with us. There were expectations, there were policies, and so I felt like I had a commonality whenever I went into other McDonald's. And this sounds silly, but I knew the process. I could step behind the counter at any place and fit in and be a member of that team. And I felt value there. And I made a lot of really good friends, and I learned a lot of really good lessons about structure and how to run organizations from my time when I was at McDonald's. So the takeaway here is, what is your culture? What does it say about who you are as an organization? And how quickly is that information communicated? And what are you also doing to drive affinity for your institution among your members, and then externally to people that don't work at your institution but maybe care about the product that you make? One of the companies that we discussed was Apple, and the way that they make iPhone exclusive and not inclusive, and how that breeds a sense of unity among other members of the general populace that own their technology. I have a group chat right now, and I wanted to add all of my friends into that group chat, and one friend did not have an iPhone. He's not a member of our group chat. iPhone did that. Apple did that. So it's just interesting to think about the ways that culture impacts our lives in subtle ways that we probably hadn't thought before. So have a great day, guys. Stay safe.